So today I wanted to talk to you about bullet journaling, but specifically how you can customize your bullet journal to fit your needs. If you haven't met me yet, hi, I'm Addie Martineau, and I make content on bullet journaling, pen pal, and everything stationery. Bullet journaling is extremely versatile. No two journals are the same. That's what makes it such a great tool to improve your motivation and your productivity. However, this can make it difficult to figure out what you need personally in your bullet journal. When you first start bullet journaling, you may have watched a bunch of videos of how to do it, you have some cool ideas in your head, and you could start like that and you'd probably be fine. If you want to skip the headache of trying spreads and discarding them, finding out they don't work for you, then this video should help you get a head start on your productivity. Nobody likes to talk about their weaknesses. I personally like to pretend that I am a perfect person with no flaws, everything always goes my way, but that's not true. So the first thing I start with when I'm working on a new bullet journal is I list all my weaknesses. Basically situations that make me want to procrastinate. If procrastination is one of my weaknesses, maybe you are more motivated in the morning versus the night. All these things can affect which spreads you should use for your journal. For example, I struggle with staying on track. I'm very chaotic by nature. I have a difficulty staying motivated throughout the day. And one thing that I know about myself personally is that when I am emotional or have a lot of heavy thoughts in my head, then that makes it difficult for me to be productive. These are all things that I take into account when I'm planning a new month or a new bullet journal to decide which spreads would work best for me. Go ahead and make a list now, whether it's in your head or on a piece of paper or in your phone. What's important is being honest with yourself about your shortcomings, not in a mean way. We are not trying to bring ourselves down. We are just trying to figure out how we can help ourselves. If this was difficult for you, or you feel like you missed out on a couple things, then one thing I would suggest is take a week and journal every day about your motivation and productivity. Take 5 minutes and write down how your day has been, whether you've been motivated, whether you were productive, if there was something that made you lose your motivation, or if you feel like you could have done more. Now that you have your list of weaknesses, we can figure out what you need more of. Do you feel burnt out by the end of the day and exhausted? This will help us to know what you need from your bullet journal. Do you need more motivation to finish things that aren't very fun? Do you need your bullet journal to hold you accountable for things you've set your mind to? Do you need space to relax? Or do you have enough relaxation in your day? Do you need a creative space? Or would making your bullet journal pretty be just an added stress? On the internet, we see a lot of really gorgeous bullet journal spreads. Half the time, they're more beauty than function. And that's awesome, because it works for that person, but that doesn't always work for everyone. If you decide that you need more function than form, then I would recommend looking at minimalist bullet journal spreads. I have a video showing you how to set up a bullet journal in a minimal style, and of course adapt it to whatever you discover works for you. It could be a good starting off point for you. Alright, now that you have your list of weaknesses and ideas of how your bullet journal can help you, we can finally start getting into the fun part, creating your bullet journal. If you need help with staying accountable to the things you've decided to do, tracker spreads and daily lists would work really well for you. If you need help with motivation, then look up planning spreads, maybe a milestone map, anything where you can feel like you've accomplished something. If you need a space to be creative, that's easy. You can add doodles throughout your spreads, play with lettering, and throw quotes in throughout. If you've noticed that you have a difficult time with your emotions or you need help with your anxiety, then I would recommend a mood tracker, maybe a brain dump, pages where you can check in with your mental health, and maybe a page reminding you to relax. If it's harder for you to stay motivated during a certain time of the day, then I would recommend a routine spread or a checklist, something that can remind you what you need to do at that time without having to rack your brain for all those things that you know you should do. If you're forgetful, like me, then I would recommend a weekly and monthly page where you can list your events, things that you need to do, and pages where you can write down your chore lists, and spaces where you can mark these things off. Of course, this is only the tip of the iceberg. There are so many different spreads that can work for you depending on what you need. But keep in mind who you are as a person too. And that brings me to my last bit of advice. Regardless of what your weaknesses are, you need to take your personality into account as well. For example, I am impatient by nature, and I have a hard time keeping up with things that I need to check in daily. I also have a difficult time doing the same thing every day. I learned that about me when I killed my second sourdough starter. So to combat these things, I create spreads where if I miss a day, it's not the end of the world. I can go back and easily fill it in or not. Either way works. My impatience is another reason I keep my trackers simple. Trackers can get overwhelming really fast, so if you feel like you need them in your bullet journal, then by all means go for it. My only recommendation would be to start small because it's easy to overwhelm yourself, speaking from personal experience. And now is the fun part. You get to create your bullet journal. Take your time, relax, maybe make a list of the spreads you want to try out. Don't feel like you have to do it all in one day. I usually take a couple days to plan out my monthly spread. And as always, my biggest recommendation would be to keep it simple in the beginning. You can always add more later. Well, I hope this video helped you. I know when I first started bullet journaling, it was a lot of trial and error. So hopefully I can help you skip a bit of that awkwardness. If this video helped you, then here's a couple more videos that I think you would enjoy. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!